What's up, guys? Another video from a guy with a beard and a hat who likes cameras. This video, very simply, is why I think when the weather is looking pretty grim, you should get out with your camera. So the first reason to get out when it rains is the reflections you get from the rain. Obviously, when things are wet, particularly the pavements, you get puddles, you get wet surfaces on shop windows and stuff like that. Really good for reflection shots, particularly the puddles, and you can do a lot with those puddles in terms of compositions. A lot of interesting stuff with flipping the photo around, so the puddle is the main focus of the image, and it's the wet bounces the light around, so it kind of amplifies the light a little bit too, and can make for very interesting images. Number two is the atmosphere rain can give you, particularly some really heavy rain. You can get really moody shots, particularly at nighttime again, misty lights, you get rain streaks, you get like this really nice glow around car headlights, bus headlights, lampposts, and it can really help create quite a cinematic, film-looking kind of image, which I really like. So yeah, that's another really good reason to shoot out in the rain. Also, and this is a big one for me, it's the way people behave in the rain and how that benefits street photographers. I was out the other night and I was cooped down by a set of steps outside a building, and there was a subway, and I was waiting for the train to come across, and ideally somebody with an umbrella to walk underneath the subway at the same time. Didn't quite happen mine, but nevertheless. But I was just camped there, and the amount of people that walked past me, and they were so distracted by the awful weather, I was just completely invisible. And that's one thing I quite like about shooting in that kind of weather, is nobody's got time to bug you about what you're doing or take a remote bit of interest in what you're doing, because they're all just eager to get home or on the bus or back to the car, eager to get out of that terrible wet weather. Also, those classic umbrella shots are available to you, plentiful opportunities to get some really nice umbrella shots, and that's also one of the little kind of ticks in the box, I guess. You get a really good umbrella shot of somebody. So yeah, people act differently when it rains, differently in a positive, beneficial way to street photographers. I also appreciate the texture, going back to reflections, the raindrops, the condensation, a real opportunity to create a powerful image using texture. You can do that also at nighttime, reflections, condensation with headlights and silhouettes, particularly bus stops and stuff. So I just find that my creative juices are flowing a lot quicker. I'm getting inspired a lot more by the conditions. A mundane bus stop just looks, Hollywood, kind of. Yeah, so just enjoy that atmosphere, the environment of really crappy, rainy, wet weather. So yeah, those are just a few pointers, but I think, if that could be some type of inspiration to you the next time it rains, just, yeah, get out there and get some photos. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the gear I used, and I think it's a big one because, you need to make sure, particularly if it's quite bad rain, that your gear is somewhat weather sealed. There are ways to go out without weather sealed equipment. But the more weather sealed equipment is, the better. And even though I had weather sealed equipment, I still used a little kind of clear bag you can buy. I think JJC do these bags, and it's kind of like a zip at the end or a pull tie at the end, and you kind of put that around the lens, and then you cover the rest of the camera with the plastic bag. They're not the most practical things to use. They're a bit finicky. I did notice that the actual string was covering the lens at one point, so make sure that string is underneath the lens. Little tip there for you. But the gear I used was the Lumix S5 II, weather sealed, full frame, good in low light, rugged, a real good street photography, nighttime street photography camera. I wouldn't use this in the day. This is mainly for nighttime street stuff because it's just so big. I prefer to use a smaller camera in the day, but for nighttime, because it is nighttime too, you are a little bit more invisible. So I don't mind using that camera. Lenses of choice. So for a wide to mid zoom, the 28-70, which is a lovely all-rounder. Got some nice wide-angle shots with that one. Weather Seal 2, and just love this lens. It's the 85mm from Panasonic f1.8. So, you know, amazing compression, very sharp center. Yeah, good lens, and also weather sealed. So that's my little weather sealed combo. So pointers: take a cloth, take 2 cloths, microfibers. You will have to wipe the lens over at some point, particularly the front element, and you don't want to be using your top or your shirt or whatever. You want to take a nice dry dedicated cloth. I used bus shelters for brief breaks from the rain. They're really handy. And yeah, try and wipe, particularly if you're using a zoom lens like the 28-70. I was very conscious of zooming in and out and drawing water in through the barrel. They are weather sealed lenses, but there's also just water, isn't it? It's a bloody nightmare. So I kept wiping that lens because it was a zoom. But I always wipe over the equipment anyway because, you know, just best to be cautious. Lens hoods. Also very, very needed. You know, you got rain directly hitting that front element without a lens hood. So gonna make sure you got a lens hood. Yeah, just have fun with it, but just, yeah, try and keep your stuff as dry as much as possible. So guys, that's it from me. Don't forget, get out there in the rain. It's a lot of fun. Be careful. Protect your equipment as much as possible. Yeah. And get shooting, and put in the comment section. I'm very, very interested to know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite nighttime wet rainy street photography setup. Let's get a conversation going. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.